What's up, everybody? Time for another Magic Man review. Alright, today's review is Graham Hancock, America Before. Now, I love Graham Hancock's books. He just kind of dispels a lot of the myths, and he gets a lot of flack for it. A lot of flack. Tried to work out the lighting here, but you had to bear with me. It is what it is. Move the car around, I ain't worried about it. It's the content that counts. Back to what we're talking about. Graham Hancock, America Before. It goes a lot into the history of America. You know, when the Europeans found it, that time is kind of forgotten about. It's in there. It's in the books. It's in the records. But people have forgotten about it. They don't look it up, and they just don't know. So it really delves into that, and it goes even further back than to, like, what we would consider, the Indian history. The history of the Indian confederacies that lived in the United States when the Europeans came over. And what it really delves into is really good. Most of Graham Hancock's books deal with this. It's like history really isn't what we think it is. It's, basically, I love Napoleon Bonaparte. He always comes out with some really good quotes, and this is one of the best ones. He was kind of like a real dude. He didn't like delve in fairy tales, stuff like that. He dealt with the truth as he saw it. And Napoleon said that history is a set of lies agreed upon. Basically, it's a bunch of lies everybody says is the truth, and it's not. It's not at all. A lot of these stuff that we hear, it's really propaganda. It really is. It guides people to a certain point of thinking, and it's because it's easy and convenient for people to accept lies. They don't want the truth. But if you like lies, don't go to read a Graham Hancock book, because he's going to go out there and present evidence. It's one of the things I love about Graham Hancock books. He goes out there and he gets the evidence. And he gives you the evidence. He draws a conclusion. And it's like, hey, if you think differently, if you have a different theory, we'd love to hear it. Here's my evidence right here. What are you bringing to the table? You got your theories and all this stuff. And a lot of these theories, they get proven wrong. I mean, totally wrong. And one of the things that Graham Hancock is always getting pushback from is from, like, archaeologists and scientists. People who know better. And they're always pushing back on Graham Hancock, saying, hey, you're a quack. He's a pseudo-scientist. He's not a real scientist, not like us. He doesn't have, a fancy piece of paper from some university. No, he's a quack, and all he ever does is just present the evidence. So these scientists, these archaeologists, they kind of like, they step in it sometimes, One of the things they disprove in this book is the Clovis first principle, which is saying that the Clovis people here in the United States and throughout the Americas were the first people. Not the Indians, but the Clovis people. And as time has gone by and they've done more archaeology, they found out there were people here before the Clovis people. They were just one little bump on the road, And one of the ways they do it is science. They use genetics. And what Graham Hancock has found, a lot of the scientists have found, and people who actually go with the raw numbers, the facts, they're finding that the peoples throughout the Americas are kind of like a mixed bag. They came from all directions. They like to have this theory about the Bering Sea Strait, where people just came over from Asia and came down here and became Native Americans. That's a little, not really true. I mean, they trace some of the genetics coming from Asia, but they also show through the genetic records people coming from the South Pacific into the Americas. And also, there's anomalies there. It's like, where in the world did these people come from? Because some of them have genetics that go, like, from Persia in northern India. It's like, where in the world, how did they get all the way over here from over there? Okay, a lot of that good stuff. Um, Another thing I like about this book, I always love Grant Hancock's books because I'm a realist. I like real stuff. I don't like fairy tales and story time and stuff that makes you feel good about yourself. No, I'm good. I'm good. I want to know the truth. And the truth sometimes is bittersweet. Um, I didn't know why they call the Amazon rainforest the Amazon. Turns out that when the Europeans came over here and they started exploring the rainforest, right? They went down the Amazon rainforest, the Amazon River, and there were cities all over the place. I mean, huge cities, and they're recently just starting to find these cities again where they were. And there were huge cities, but one of the cities was inhabited by a group of nothing but women. And they were warriors, and they basically repopulated themselves by abducting men. And, that's how they had kids. But the Europeans were like, oh, look at these Amazon women. They're like the Amazons of the old, of the Greeks. And they're saying, oh, these are Amazons, these are women warriors. So they called the place the Amazon from the Greeks. I didn't know that. I didn't really think about it, and it dispels this myth that oh, they're depopulating, they're tearing down the rainforest, they're cutting down all the trees, and the Amazon rainforest is the life of the planet. If we tear them down, we're all going to die. There's not going to be any clean air. Turns out that's BS. Typical, self-righteous, tree-hugging hippie BS. There were cities all over the Amazon. All over the Amazon. It was densely populated, but they got in contact with European diseases, and plus they had some diseases of their own, and they died out, And over time, the forest retook, the civilizations that were there. Same thing would happen right here. If, you took humans away, all this stuff would disappear within a matter of like 100 years. You think about it, our society is built on like flimsy stuff. We're not building stuff out of stone. We're building it out of oil and wood, stuff like that, plastics. That stuff degrades. It'll be gone within 100 years. So people didn't know this stuff was even there because they had forgot about it. But people had written about it, 400 years ago. They wrote down logs and chronicle stuff, and as time went by, there was like, oh, that's just fairy tales. That really didn't happen. No, those explorers, they were full of crap. They were just making stuff up to get people to come over here. No, they were telling the truth. They've been finding these cities. Look up the lost city of the monkey gods. They just found the city. It was one of the cities, they had based it off of the movie King Kong. These people basically worship monkeys or something like that down in the Amazon or South or Central America. And they recently found it. They thought it was just a myth. But they went through with ground penetrating radar and they found it. It was there. They did the archaeological digs and they found all the monkey stuff. So it wasn't just a myth. One of the reasons he's able to date some of the stuff that he is, the archaeological sites, because peoples back in the day before we dreamt, we came up with Abrahamic religion before that was pagan religion. Before that it was astronomy. People, looked at the stars and they thought they were, they mapped the whole world and their whole beliefs according to the sun and the stars. And they aligned their buildings, their pyramids, and all their structures with astrological points in the sky. So you can take these sites and line them up with like Venus or Jupiter or some distant star, because that's what they were doing. And sometimes it's a little off, so you can go back and say, hey, if we go back in time, this aligns to that period back then. Great stuff. And some of the stuff that I love, it just really screws with the scientists and the archaeologists, is they'll find stuff that, like bracelets and different tools and different buildings, how they were made. And the scientists are like, that can't that can't be. It's not real. It's unexplained phenomenon. They can't explain it, how the stuff was made, because in their minds, if you go back in history, human beings were just primitive hunter gatherers, and that's not true. It's not true by a long shot. They were building cities, you know. Granted, some of them were just Stone Age cities, but they were cities nonetheless, and they knew how to do stuff. Some of the stuff, I think they were using different technologies from a different point of view than we do. I don't know how that is. Just read it, but it's a great book. And I love books like these. History is a set of lies agreed upon. Okay, people love lies. They don't like the truth. Graham Hancock, America Before. One thing about Graham Hancock books, it can be a little bit dry. Sometimes he'll cover old material in other books that he's already done, and he'll tell you that. He said, "This is what I covered in this previous book that I wrote," but he doesn't really just write fill whole chapters full of stuff that he's already gone over. But it can be a little bit dry. But the thing is, he's presenting facts, scientific facts, and if you don't like his facts, disprove his facts. He's open to that. I've seen lots of interviews with him where he does stuff, and plus, he does some of this kind of hippie stuff himself. Whatever. I like facts. I like knowing the truth, and I like when everybody's like, "Oh no, the Amazon rainforest is the life of the earth." Because no, it's not. No, it's not. It's a lie. It's a bunch of crap. People used to live there, dude. We've got the cities right here. Here's a street that used to go through here. It's paved. Okay? So don't give me those nonsense that you want to spout and make yourself feel better about yourself. It's all good. One more time. Graham Hancock, America Before. I think it's a good book. It's kind of a brick. I love them. All right, people. Till next time.